The story behind the scenes of MotoGP's tyre future is beginning to unfold, and one rider may already hold a crucial advantage. While much of the paddock focuses on immediate race results, the quiet work happening during private tyre tests could shape the competitive order for years to come. This week's test at the iconic Circuito de Jerez, Ángel Nieto offered more than just routine data collection. It provided a rare opportunity for riders and manufacturers to experiment with two very different tyre philosophies, and for one rider in particular to reveal insights that could influence the next era of the championship. At the centre of that conversation is Toprak Razgatlioglu, whose involvement in the MotoGP tyre test has quietly highlighted a surprising and potentially decisive role in the development of future Pirelli tyres. Razgatlioglu took part in the MotoGP tyre test at Jerez this week, where riders were given access to both Michelin and Pirelli rubber. The test represented a valuable opportunity for the Turkish star to gain further mileage on Michelin tyres, a component he is still adapting to after years of racing on Pirelli tyres in the superbike paddock. The difference between the two tyre manufacturers remains one of the most significant contrasts between MotoGP and the Superbike World Championship. For Razgatlioglu, understanding the behaviour of Michelin tyres is currently one of the biggest learning curves of his early MotoGP career. Interestingly, he was expected to be the only full-time MotoGP rider present on track during the test that followed the Spanish Grand Prix. Several manufacturers instead sent their development riders to gather technical feedback. Pol Espargaro represented KTM, while Lorenzo Savadori carried out duties for Aprilia. Meanwhile, Andrea Dovizioso was present to assist Yamaha Motor Company. Notably, both Honda and Ducati chose not to participate in the session. At the moment, Razgatlioglu arguably starts the MotoGP season at a slight disadvantage compared with many of his rivals. Riders who have spent years adapting to Michelin tyres naturally possess a deeper understanding of how to extract performance from them. The only rider in a somewhat comparable situation could be Moto2 graduate Diogo Moreira, who is also adapting to the characteristics of MotoGP machinery and tyres. However, the competitive landscape could shift dramatically in 2027 when MotoGP switches tyre supplier from Michelin to Pirelli. That change could transform Razgatlioglu's experience into a powerful advantage. Having spent years mastering Pirelli tyres in the Superbike Championship, he already understands the behaviour, feedback and performance characteristics that many current MotoGP riders have never experienced. Because of that background, Razgatlioglu is expected to become an extremely valuable reference point for Pirelli engineers as they refine their MotoGP tyre development program. The importance of rider feedback in tyre development cannot be overstated. Engineers rely heavily on rider sensations, grip levels, front-end confidence, braking stability to fine-tune tyre construction and compounds. Razgatlioglu's dual experience across two championships could therefore prove extremely valuable. Few riders possess such deep familiarity with both the Pirelli philosophy used in Superbike and the Michelin characteristics currently defining MotoGP. Italian rider Danilo Petrucci has previously explained just how different the two tyres behave. According to Petrucci, Michelin tyres require a riding style that is almost the opposite of what works with Pirelli rubber. One of the most noticeable differences lies in front-end confidence. The Michelin front tyre often provides a very different sensation compared with the strong front grip that riders rely on in superbike competition. That contrast helps explain why Razgatlioglu, famous for his aggressive braking style, is still adjusting to the MotoGP package. Despite the excitement surrounding his potential future advantage, expectations for Razgatlioglu's debut MotoGP season may have been set unrealistically high by those close to his camp. The Turkish rider's manager has reportedly set a bold target: to become the best Yamaha rider before the end of his first season. Yet achieving that goal would require beating none other than Fabio Quartararo, one of the most established figures on the grid. According to Luca Marini, Razgatlioglu may only become truly competitive once the tyre regulations change in 2027. Marini believes that once the championship adopts Pirelli tyres, Razgatlioglu's experience could allow him to immediately fight closer to the front. For now, the results highlight just how steep the adaptation process can be. In the Spanish Grand Prix, Razgatlioglu finished 17th, ahead of his Pramac teammate Jack Miller, but still outside the points-scoring positions. The gap to the top 15 was only around 6 seconds, a margin that demonstrates how close the competition remains across the midfield. While that result may not immediately reflect headline-grabbing success, the bigger picture suggests something more intriguing. As MotoGP edges closer to its tyre revolution in 2027, Razgatlioglu's unique experience could turn today's disadvantage into tomorrow's competitive edge. And if that scenario unfolds, the quiet tyre tests taking place now may eventually be remembered as the moment his long-term MotoGP advantage truly began. Beyond the raw finishing positions, the data gathered during the Jerez tyre test could carry long-term significance for both teams and manufacturers. Development sessions such as these rarely generate headlines, yet they often shape the technical direction of the sport. For a rider like Toprak Razgatlioglu, every additional lap on unfamiliar Michelin tyres represents another step in understanding the subtle behaviour that defines MotoGP machinery. Engineers closely monitored how Razgatlioglu adapted his braking points, corner entry speed, and throttle application while switching between tyre concepts. The Turkish rider is widely known for his aggressive braking style, something that made him extraordinarily successful in the Superbike World Championship. Translating that style to Michelin tyres, however, requires delicate adjustments in how the front tyre is loaded during heavy braking. The challenge lies in how differently the two tyre manufacturers deliver feedback to the rider. Michelin tyres tend to reward smoother inputs and precise weight transfer, while Pirelli tyres traditionally offer riders a more direct sense of grip at the front of the motorcycle. This difference forces Razgatlioglu to refine his riding approach as he continues adapting to the demands of MotoGP. Yet that adaptation process could simultaneously benefit Pirelli's long-term MotoGP development. When the championship switches tyre supplier in 2027, Pirelli will need riders capable of describing how the tyres behave under the extreme forces generated by modern MotoGP bikes.